Cave Kenny Veach disappearance. In 2014, a YouTuber named Kenny Veach made a disturbing comment on a cave exploration video. Kenny's YouTube channel was called SnakeBitMG. He wrote that he had found a strange cave entrance near Area 51 in Nevada. The cave opening was shaped like the letter M. Kenny described something terrifying that happened when he approached the M-shaped entrance. His entire body began to vibrate with an intense, unexplainable energy. The vibration was so powerful and frightening that he turned around and left immediately. He did not enter the cave because the sensation felt wrong and dangerous. Other YouTube users read Kenny's comment and were skeptical about his story. They challenged him to go back and find the M cave again. Some commenters dared him to film the cave and prove it was real. Kenny accepted the challenge and decided to search for the mysterious cave. He made his first filmed attempt to relocate the M-shaped entrance. During this trip, Kenny hiked through the desert mountains near Area 51 for hours. He searched everywhere but could not find the exact location of the M cave. Kenny returned home unsuccessful but determined to keep looking. In November 2014, Kenny told his family he was going out for a short hike. He planned to search for the M cave one more time. Kenny packed his gear and headed into the Nevada desert alone. His family expected him to return home later that same day, but Kenny Veach never came back from that hike. Hours turned into days and Kenny was still missing. His worried family immediately contacted the authorities. Search and rescue teams were sent into the desert to look for him. The search teams covered miles of harsh desert terrain near Area 51. They checked caves, mine shafts, and rocky areas where Kenny might have gone. Eventually, the searchers made a disturbing discovery. They found Kenny's cell phone lying on the ground near an abandoned mine shaft. The phone was the only trace of Kenny that was ever found. Search teams explored the mine shaft thoroughly but found no sign of Kenny. Despite extensive searches over many days, Kenny Veach was never found. His body has never been recovered from the desert. To this day, no one knows what happened to Kenny Veach. Serbian bear den's social media stunt. In late 2024, a Serbian influencer posted a shocking video on social media. The video was titled, "On the Edge of Life." It showed him crawling into what looked like a wild bear's den. The influencer wanted to create dramatic content to gain followers and views. He approached a dark cave-like hole in the ground. The opening appeared to be a natural bear den in the wilderness. The influencer turned on his camera and began crawling slowly into the hole. Inside the den, everything was pitch black and silent. He kept filming as he moved deeper into the darkness. Suddenly, a massive bear emerged from the shadows right in front of him. The enormous animal was just inches away from the influencer's face. The bear leaned forward and began sniffing the terrified man. The influencer remained completely frozen in fear. He did not move a single muscle as the bear investigated him. The bear's hot breath and massive size were captured clearly on camera. The video ended with the influencer backing out of the den slowly. He posted the video online with a dramatic title suggesting he had risked his life. The video went viral immediately and received millions of views. People around the world watched in shock as the influencer encountered the bear. Many viewers believed he had actually crawled into a wild bear's den. However, the truth came out soon after the video spread across social media. The den was not a wild bear's home in the forest. It was actually part of a bear sanctuary facility. The bear in the video was a rescue animal named Masho. Masho was accustomed to being around humans because of his rescue background. The bear was not a dangerous wild animal hunting in the forest. The entire video had been staged to look more dangerous than it really was. When people learned the truth, massive backlash erupted against the influencer. Critics accused him of engagement farming to get clicks and followers. Engagement farming means creating fake or exaggerated content just for attention. Wildlife experts condemned the video for sending a terrible message to viewers. The stunt encouraged followers to approach dangerous wildlife for social media content. Even though the influencer survived without a scratch, his actions were reckless. Real wild bears are incredibly dangerous and will attack humans who invade their dens. Approaching a wild bear's den is one of the most deadly mistakes a person can make. Spanish Cave 500-Day Isolation Experiment. In 2021, elite athlete and mountaineer Beatriz Flamini entered a cave in Spain. She was about to begin one of the most extreme isolation experiments ever attempted. The cave was located 230 feet underground, deep beneath the surface. Flamini volunteered to stay alone in the cave with no human contact. A production company was documenting her journey for a scientific study. The goal was to understand what happens to the human mind during extreme isolation. Flamini brought supplies, books, and painting materials to occupy her time. She had no clock, no calendar, and no way to track the passage of time. The cave had no natural light from the sun. She lived in complete darkness except for artificial lights she controlled. There were no sounds from the outside world in the deep underground chamber. Flamini could not hear birds, traffic, voices, or any normal daily sounds. She was cut off from all human interaction in modern life. The isolation experiment was supposed to last for 500 days. As weeks turned into months, Flamini began to experience strange effects. Her brain started playing tricks on her in the silent darkness. She heard auditory hallucinations that sounded real but were not there. Voices and sounds appeared in her mind from the extreme isolation. Without any way to track time, she completely lost her sense of days and weeks. Time became meaningless in the unchanging environment of the cave. Flamini painted, read books, and exercised to keep her mind and body active. But the psychological effects of total isolation grew stronger over time. After 512 days underground, the experiment finally came to an end. A team arrived at the cave to bring Beatriz Flamini back to the surface. When they told her it was time to leave, she admitted something shocking. Flamini said she did not want to come out of the cave. She had adapted so completely to isolation that returning felt wrong. The team helped her climb back up to the surface world. Emerging from the cave after 512 days was extremely difficult for her. The bright sunlight hurt her eyes after living in darkness for so long. The sounds of the modern world were overwhelming and painful to hear. Flamini's psychological state was fragile after the extreme isolation. Krubera Cave Extreme Depth Expedition. In late 2024, Turkish YouTuber Veach prepared for the most dangerous journey of his life. Rui was known for creating high-production documentary videos about extreme locations. He decided to explore Krubera Cave in Georgia, the deepest known cave on Earth. Krubera Cave descends an incredible 7,296 feet below the surface. Rui knew this expedition would be far more dangerous than anything he had attempted before. Unlike casual influencers who take quick risks, Rui spent over a year training. He prepared his body and mind for the extreme conditions deep underground. Professional cave divers and experts taught him the technical skills he would need. Before the expedition could begin, Rui had to sign a serious legal contract. The contract acknowledged that rescue was virtually impossible if something went wrong. If he became trapped or injured at extreme depth, no one could save him. He accepted this risk and signed the document anyway. In early 2025, Rui and his team entered Krubera Cave to begin the descent. The journey would take 8 full days in total darkness. They carried all their food, water, and equipment on their backs. The team navigated through vertical pits that dropped hundreds of feet straight down. They rappelled down ropes into pitch-black abysses with no bottom in sight. Freezing cold water poured over them in many sections of the cave. The water temperature was near 0 degrees Celsius. As they descended deeper, the air became thinner and harder to breathe. Oxygen-deprived passages made every movement exhausting and difficult. The physical toll on Rui's body was extreme. He could barely eat or sleep in the harsh underground conditions. His muscles ached constantly from climbing and carrying heavy gear. The mental pressure of being trapped miles underground was overwhelming. Every day, the team pushed deeper into the Earth's crust. By the time they reached the deepest point, they were over 2 kilometers below the surface. The return journey back to the surface was just as grueling as going down. After 8 days underground, Rui finally emerged from Krubera Cave. He had lost 22 pounds of body weight. His body was suffering from severe physical exhaustion. The mental toll was just as serious as the physical damage. Rui posted his documentary video on YouTube shortly after the expedition. The video garnered over 10 million views almost instantly. People around the world watched in shock at the extreme depths he had reached. The expedition was successful and everyone returned safely.